You know that thing that Netflix shows are algorithmically obligated to do, where the first few minutes have to have some sort of flashy, explosive hook? It's usually a murder. You know that thunderous dun 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 moment that's supposed to immediately grab you and momentarily demand that you look away from your phone and hopefully have you commit to the entire episode? Well, in Netflix's new series, The Royals, that hook is a shirtless Ishaan Khatter armed with the abbiest of abs riding a horse on a beach. The Royals is supposedly a frothy rom-com set within the colourful, lavish world of Indian royalty. Bhumi Pednekar is Sophia, the hot and bothered CEO of India's #1 hospitality startup called Work Potato. Sophia wants to start a perplexing new venture called Royal B&B, which would allow regular folks to stay in palaces with royalty. In search of a guinea pig to test the new business, she sets her sights on the royal family of the fictional province of Morepur. After the recent death of his father, the new maharaja of Morepur is Abhiraj, played by a dashing, frequently topless Ishaan Khatter. Abhiraj and Sophia's fates are tied together. She needs her startup to work, he needs to secure his family's future, clear their debts and fund their lavish lifestyle, which includes an electricity bill of 30 lakhs and a panika bill of 10 lakhs. I'm assuming that's monthly? Of course, the two are also romantically drawn to each other, further complicating things. From creators Ishita Pritesh Nandi and Ranjita Pritesh Nandi, writers Neha Veena Sharma, Vishnu Sinha and Iti Agrawal, and directors Nupur Astana and Priyanka Ghosh, The Royals thinks it's a flashy, frothy, fizzy romance, but it's actually a tense, edge-of-your-seat mystery thriller that leaves you with many haunting, unanswered questions. Like, why is every character on this show different shades of shiny cardboard? When are the makers planning to pick up their award for fun cast with nothing to do? Has dialogue ever felt this spectacularly sauceless? How is it that the many, many minds behind this series have not an iota of comedic ability between them to make even a single line or gag land? How dare they reduce someone as talented as Sumukhi Suresh to squeaky background punchlines? Why does Dino Moria play an actual prince nicknamed Salad? Have 8 episodes ever felt this tedious? How much do you think Milind Soman got paid to be a framed picture on the wall and be in all of 2 brief flashback scenes? Why is it that the most deeply felt chemistry shared by any 2 actors on this show is between Ishaan Khatter and his horse? I mean, technically there are 2 horses, one named Coffee and the other named Khan. And to answer your next question, no, I don't think the 2 horses know about each other. That love triangle is more affecting than the dozen other love triangles in this series. There's also a polyamorous pony joke in here somewhere. I just need to find it. I'm not done. There are more questions. How is there an actual scene as conceptually fun as a weed gummy popping Zeenat Aman egging on her queen daughter-in-law played by Sakshi Tanwar to hook up with a Bollywood superstar played by Chunky Pandey, and it's somehow still dull? How is that even possible? Why are Aviraj and his 2 siblings played by Vihan Samat and Kavya Trehan nicknamed Fizzy, Diggy and Ginny? I imagine that's what you'd call Blossom, Bubbles and Buttercup if they had a concussion. Perhaps most importantly, how is it that we can't get a show like this that's literally all flashy packaging and fun vibes right? Isn't good-looking rich people falling in love to peppy soundtracks while surrounded by animated characters literally a cornerstone of modern Hindi cinema? Isn't that like our whole deal? We used to be good at this, right? It wouldn't even be fair to call Royals a guilty pleasure because that would still mean it needs to elicit some sort of emotional reaction. Everyone here is a walking, talking trope, and that's fine. I'm good with that. Give me formula and rehashed comfortable cliches, but for God's sake, do it well. We're not looking for nuance or depth from this show. We're just looking for sizzle and spark and to have a good time, which is apparently too much to ask for. The reason you know Ishaan Khatter works well as Aviraj is because even at his most spoilt, bratty, arrogant, cocky and mopey, he knows how to turn on the charm and win Sophia and us over. It's Sophia that's the problem. Early on, she constantly judges Aviraj for being a rich, spoilt brat when she herself is clearly massively privileged, self-made or not. Is she supposed to be relatable? She seems like her version of a tough week is when Soho House is closed for maintenance. I've always been a fan of Bhumi and I don't think she gets enough credit for her choices, but I've never seen her this visibly uneasy and uncomfortable. Even within the confines of the lifeless writing, she isn't able to uplift the material and bring the spark. Also, I get that the tightly wound self-serious businesswoman who can't get her life together is a supposedly endearing though outdated rom-com trope, but it doesn't land here. Sophia makes objectively terrible decisions and has no visible business acumen. If Tara and the gang from Made in Heaven could see her operate, they'd walk into a door. The writers build the entire narrative around this romantic pair's personal and professional lives constantly colliding, and the result is repetitive and irritating. Sophia needs man-child Aviraj to turn up for some random launch event. Aviraj refuses and acts like a brat and then sort of says yes, and then it happens all over again and I die a little inside. Their entire push and pull, complicated, messy, yearning, swooning romance can be accurately summarized as 2 people that are sometimes horny. Somewhere within the royals are some workable ideas about being trapped by tradition and the isolation of being a figurehead, but does it matter when the result is this defeatingly dull? Instead, the show is the unfortunate answer to the question, can charm be bought or imposed? Clearly not. It appears that Netflix is leaning hard into their ambient viewing mid-TV era with shows like Khaki and Dabba Cartel, but at least those had solid characters and a sense of plot. Here what we get is a rom-com that desperately struggles on both the rom and the com fronts. What you're left with then is the flat dash that separates them. You can watch The Royals on Netflix. For more reviews like this one, subscribe to The Hollywood Reporter India.